Hello everyone. Welcome you all to the VizLabs webinar of the week. This webinar is on introduction to AI services with live demo. We are here with Vivek, the person who needs no introduction. He is a data scientist by profession, and he's an organizer at Azure Developer Communities, AWS community builder along with me. He is Microsoft Azure data scientist, AI engineer, data engineer. He is 16 times multi-certified cloud engineer, 20 times international and national hackathon winner, and have published research papers, also a patent. He is an active speaker, mentor, blogger, and open source contributor. Thank you so much, Vivek, once again for accepting the invitation and having an awesome webinar for our users. I hand over to you now. You can take the stage and all the best. You are on mute.
Yeah, thanks for an amazing introduction and welcome everyone. So I will go ahead and share my screen right now and we'll start with our webinar. So today's session is about AI services and stuff, and let's get started with it. So one second. Hold on 1 second. Sure. Thanks everyone for joining in, and today's session is about AI services, and it'll be like we'll be actually doing more hands-on stuff today, so it'll be much more interesting to watch. So everything is available in the form of PPTs, resources, and your code samples are available right now. So you can just sit back and get through the concepts and the hands-on stuff. And as you know, like we have a couple of event which is planned at the end of the webinar. So please stay tuned and we'll be having much more fun at the end as well. So today we'll be talking about the AI services we have and which is available in Amazon Web Services. So thanks for giving me an amazing intro. So I'm very much familiar with VizLabs. I've already done a session, and thanks for having me again for this AWS session here. So today's session will be like, we'll discuss about few prerequisites for this current session. And don't worry, even if you don't meet this prerequisite, because it's very basic and you can get started with it at any point of time. Then we'll be talking about the AI services, what it has and everything. Then followed by, we'll be discussing about the benefits which we have in AI services and why do we really need to use that and what difference does it make with the conventional ML practices and so on. So then comes the demo session. We'll be actually using two ways to demonstrate the AI services. One is the inbuilt API service which they are built in the console, so you can directly go and play with it. And second thing is the SDK. Like since like most of us are developers and we need to integrate AI services in our application, we do need separate of programming language or CLI or something. So today we are going to take Python as one of the programming language and we are going to discuss this. And let's start with, then we'll have a little bit of Q&A where you can post some questions on the session. Then followed by, we'll be having, I will share you the resources, how to get those code samples and everything. And finally, we'll have a quiz with exciting rewards. So make sure you stay tuned till the end of the webinar to grab some amazing prizes. And that's it. Let's get started. So today's prerequisites of these talk is like we'll be using Python programming language for the demonstration. So even if you don't have any experience on Python, even if you have some experience on API such as REST APIs, calling and getting the response and manipulating the response and so on. So that would be more than sufficient to get started. And of course, you need to have an AWS account. Even if you fall under the free tier, it's okay, but still make sure that you don't have any pricing constraints for that. This demo session will definitely include pricing tier, so make sure that you don't exceed your credits or bill for working on this particular demo. So that's it. So now we can get started. So what are AI services in AWS? So many of you might have heard about machine learning services which are available, like people take the data, they train their own model, then they deploy the model, and they try to call the model, they monitor it, and so on. So this is a conventional practice which usually a machine learning engineer or data scientist does in his organization or for any other research purposes or something like that. But there comes something in all cloud providers. So they themselves use a lot of AI services in their applications and cloud platforms. In that scenario, AWS provides us a pre-trained AI service. So it's like you don't need to really take the hassle of training your own model, but in fact, you can use a pre-trained model and you can easily integrate with your applications and make your application an intelligent one. And second thing is, like, as I said, like you can easily integrate with your application for common use cases. Like when it comes to AI, like we have several use cases like reading the text or understanding the insights within an image or a video or in a text, or maybe like you have to recommend few things to your user, or it might be other ways where you have to deep dive into search algorithms and so on. So in that scenario, you have to work a lot on your AI services rather than your application. To heavy lift those part, AWS provides us a pre-trained services, so you can easily integrate with the same. And then that actually helps you to engage your customers in a better way, which directly implies that you have a better customer base, and which directly implies you have more profit for your organization and so on. So, and this all is done with less development efforts and cost. And secondly, and third main thing is, like, you don't really need to have any machine learning experience to actually integrate your AI services in AWS. You might have a requirement from a client where you might be a full stack developer or a freelancer, where your client has asked you to get started with AWS or like integrate an AI service in your application, but you don't really have AI services or you don't have really knowledge about machine learning, but you still have to complete the task, right? So in that scenario, you don't really need to know how it works, but rather you can just integrate it and make your application work for it. So that's a way how it makes us very easy and stuff. So as in today's audience, I feel so there are more beginners. So which means even if you're not introduced to machine learning or you're taking your first step in machine learning, I guess this is the best way to get started, because you can directly experience the results of how a well-trained model and will actually work in a production level. So I guess you can have a great look at that. And for professionals and other people, you can really know like how you can ease your development processes or use your AI services in a better way to simplify your development process and so on. So now that we have discussed like what is AI services and AWS, now we do really need to discuss the benefits of it. As I said, it helps you to integrate and so on. So, but let's deep dive into each one of them. So, if you're actually a person who's very new to machine learning, so as I said, like if you're a beginner and you want to get started with machine learning, but you don't know really how to, and you want to experience an end-to-end approach in the machine learning, so I guess this is the best place for you to start with. So though AI services, it's a little bit advanced if you're not familiar with development processes, you can check out other educational related services like Deep Racer, Deep Composer, and Deep Lens. I will just talk about it in a little bit later in the session, but you can keep in mind like how you can start machine learning in a very fun way. And secondly, if you're an application developer who wants to develop leverage AI services, as I said, like there is no necessity for everyone to have an acquired knowledge of machine learning, but as you know, in current scenario, machine learning has become an integral part of every applications. So if you really want to integrate your intelligence services in your application, you can just get started with AI services rather than completely implementing the end-to-end process of machine learning. So if you are an ML enthusiast with limited knowledge, let's take it in a way like you're already into machine learning and you've built some models and you've done some stuff, but rather you haven't done anything in production, like you have done mostly in your Jupyter notebook or done something. You haven't really integrated with your application, but you still really want to make it as a use case. I guess this is a way you can easily integrate the same. So every machine learning enthusiast will be really astonished to see the results which are populating from the AI services we use. So, and the last one is who wants to, if you're really AI expert, like assume like you have a very good experience in building models, you know how everything works, but still, if you really want to make a quick AI model, I guess this is the best way to start with, because as you know, like as a data scientist or machine learning engineer, you know the process of how to collect your data, clean the data, then train your model and so on. So to put out all those hassles, you can, if you want to really have a quick model and which a very good accuracy, you can just get started with this one. So I guess I have talked a lot of bit of why this AI services is important and whom it is important for. So to put it into simple words, it's like AI services are ready-made intelligence. Right? There is no need for you to do the heavy lifting of training the model and so on. So, and for that, you can easily integrate your ready-made intelligence in your applications and workflows for some common use cases. So the common use cases, as we said before, it might be related to image, video, text, intelligence services, or search, or anything like that. And you can have a very good accuracy on doing the same. And the best part is these APIs are hosted by AWS itself. So it's self-learning and continuously learning, which means by the time, every time it goes, like the APIs are very much more accurate than before. So it's very much easy to use these APIs for a better accuracy. So now that we have understood, like we have, you're very much familiar, like there is AI services in AWS and it's very easy to use, and it's actually apt for you because you find yourself in some role where you can leverage AI services and everything. But now it's a time for us to know what are available AI services are there in AWS that you can use for your applications or use cases or business requirements. So I have actually categorized, there's no actual categorization of AI services, but I took a little bit effort to summarize these AI services in particular domains. So I have broadly categorized that into language, decision, vision, and speech. So we will just see about few of those APIs right now. Then we will actually do a demo on a couple of those. So when it comes to language, there are language APIs available which works exclusively on text-related stuff. So comprehend medical is comprehend medical is where you do sentiment analysis or pick out some understand the nuances in the text like NLP and so on. So it's like a ready-made NLP package for your application. And chatbots, like as you know, like to make you engage with the customers which are available. So chatbots are the best way to do that. So to create a chatbot must be intelligent enough to understand what the user is trying to address, his query or his statement. And in response, your chatbot has to respond with the correct answers. So this requires a particular number of speech training and workflows and the intents and everything. So we can just configure it in a couple of minutes and your chatbot will be ready to integrate with your application. And text track. So text track is nothing but you can extract the text from your videos and images and so on. So it's like the combination of extract and text. So that's text track. So it's nothing but an OCR application. OCR means optical character recognition, and you can easily do that. Kendra is where you can do enterprise searching. Like if you have an application for, let's say, for an example, you have a e-commerce website and people search for your products on an e-commerce website. So these search actually work exclusively for your website, right? So to make the search availability and search engine even more accessible and easier for everyone to integrate, Kendra is the best way to do that. And translate is where you as you know, it's quite simple, and you have been using it for a very long time. So I have been using that for a very long time because I don't know Hindi and I'm currently based out in Delhi, so I use Translate a lot. And the next thing is decision. So decision is where you have to take some decision based on some inputs and outputs, and that coupled with a couple of factors. So Code Guru is where the AI services which does code reviews for you, optimizes your code flows, and even brings out the bugs which is available in your code. So I think that's one of the best AI services that every programmer would love to have. I think you might have known about GitHub Copilot, which is taking by storm right now, like how it enables us to do the pair programming and comes up with pre-built syntaxes and everything. But Code Guru helps you to analyze your code, refactor it, and make it more optimized, and make sure that you're having a bug-free code for reflection. And next thing is lookout. So lookout refers to equipments and vision. So imagine you have some sort of equipments which are available in real time. So for example, CCTV cameras or vision and so on. So when it comes to these kind of scenarios, you have to do a real time monitoring on your edge devices. So these helps in doing the same. And monitoron is where you can monitor the it's a real one, and it monitors your machine learning models and custom real-time and so on. So this is how it goes. And forecast is for forecasting your decisions, and personalize is for recommendations, and vision has text, face, and so on. We will be exclusively working on AWS recognition, and speech has two things: poly and transcribe. So I think it's too much raw for me to just keep saying what each of them does. Rather, what we will do is we'll jump to the demos, and we will again come back at the end to discuss about to summarize each of the things we have. So right now we can directly go to our console. So I think my Chrome is what is there right now. So uh, one second, I think I need to share my other screen. Okay. So is my video available? Is my AWS console visible here? Cool. Yes, thanks for that. So what you have to do is just go to your Google, search AI services and AWS, and you will get to this console. So we have all those things which I have discussed so far. So document analysis, fraud detection, video and analysis, which have recognition, and personalized recommendation. We have used personalized and so on. So these are the list of the AI services which is available, and also we have ML services like SageMaker and so on. Those were to build your own stuff and everything. So what we will do is we will try to pick out few of the AI services and try them out in the console. So let's go with Comprehend. So Comprehend is one of my personal favorite. So as you know, there is always a cost which is available associated with the AI services you use. So make sure that you have uh, know about those everything which is going on here. So one second. So what we will do is before jumping into those demo sessions, I would like to invite Abhishek to give a tour on VizLabs. Right now, I will stop sharing my screen, and Abhishek, you can take over right now.
Sure, Vivek. Thank you so much, Vivek, once again. And I'm here to present a quick demo about the VizLabs. Okay, so let's begin. Uh, Okay, so let me open VizLabs.com side by side first. I hope my screen sharing is visible to all the participants. Can I get a quick yes in the chat box? Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. Uh, so many of you have already answered that you already know about the labs. The one who have not been introduced to the labs yet, or what the VizLabs hands-on is all about. Today I'll be introducing the labs to you and presenting a small demo on how our labs work. Okay. So this lab is basically meant to explore the real you with our hands-on labs. This is about this introduction to lab is about understanding the VizLabs platform, exploring what type of cloud certification does VizLabs provide. There are three type of certification labs that VizLabs already has, which is AWS certification, Azure certification, and GCP certification. I'll be telling you about what are the lab features that you will get once you get the access to lab, purchase a course, and you can ask the questions and queries that you have in the chat window or at the end of the webinar with me. Okay, so basically VizLabs built-in hands-on in live environment is about learning by doing. Okay, so till the time you may be having watching a YouTube course or maybe a VizLabs online course or any other platform where you get the access to study material, maybe an e-book to study. Okay, but now when you want to practice it in real environment, we face a lot of difficulties, like the steps we are not clear about, or the idea about what we are going to do, what is the end result that we will get. Okay, so VizLabs is here to guide you for every step that will require you to learn. We have a lot of labs or the task covering for each of the cloud services that I just discussed, and each single lab has a detailed task instructions that are required to perform and complete the task. So there are two sections basically. First is lab details, second is task. So in lab details, we give you a brief description of the lab. We give you the introduction to services that we have used. We give you the architecture diagram of the lab. Okay, so in introduction to services, you can read a little bit of theory before proceeding with what you are going to do. In architecture diagram, you will understand what are the services that I'll be using, what will be my way from where I will starting, what will be my output. And in task, we will guide you with all the individual steps that are required for you to perform, all the required screenshots of the AWS console, where to click, where not to click, what are the options, what are the required commands, code, and guide that is already being given. Okay. Now, we also validate what you do. So let's say if you have created maybe a S3 bucket, okay, and you want to check whether you have correctly created the S3 bucket, because there are a lot of options. Maybe you can make the S3 bucket public, you can make the S3 bucket private, you can enable the versioning, you can create in a lot of different availability regions that are present. Okay, so we validate you based on this, and if the outcome of the result is not as expected, if you are failing the validation, then there will be a reports provided, the necessary information to fix the issue in your next attempt. Okay, and also you can submit the feedback on how do you think about our product. Okay, so one of the issues that we always face is about how to create account. Okay, and to create account, you all know that we need a credit card information, and providing a credit card information is not good. No, not because it is not safe. It is safe because if you end up doing something which is very costlier, you may get charged. Okay, and which is not good for especially for the students and the working professional who has little or no idea about what they are doing, especially when you are a beginner. Okay, so VizLabs hands-on labs, we are building the lab challenges that gives you no cost accounts or setup time, and there is a validate practical without seeing the live environment, and you need to spend zero time on setting up the environment. It is completely ready for you. Okay, so this is one of the lab that is already present, and I'll just quickly walk you through the VizLabs guide to show you what we have in VizLabs. Okay, so let's go to VizLabs. The very first thing you need to do after visiting VizLabs.com is to log in. Okay, so I'll click on sign in button. We have remapped the UI interface, and it is completely changed. So if you have been using this is very fast also, you can see the login got quickly. I will head to my courses section. Okay, and here since I'm a premium user of VizLabs, I have purchased the premium annual subscription. I have access to all the 168 courses that are present. Okay, but uh, I'll go to the in progress courses that are present in my account and I'm already studying. Okay, so maybe I can just quickly walk you through the uh, AWS Certified Developer Associate course. And there are three sections. Once you purchase a course, you need to maybe purchase a practice test separately, online course, and labs are completely free if you purchase either of them. Okay, so I will now switch to the labs section, and all the labs will be loaded here. Just need to wait a while till the time lab loads. This is because of my bandwidth issue. Okay, till the time it loads, we can head towards the platform and see what it is all about. Okay, so let's switch to play.vizlabs.com. And here we have all the lab quest based on the certifications. Okay, so if you are preparing for AWS certified solution architect associate, we have the complete learning path. Okay, so maybe I can open one of the learning path for you, and this is how the learning path looks like. If you have just completed your online learning with a course, you can go through all of these courses, all of these labs. So there are around 59 labs present in AWS Certified Solution Architect Associate. Since this webinar is about machine learning, maybe I can show you the labs that we already have for machine learning. So we have 5 labs till now on machine learning. We are using Lex, 3 lab on Lex, 1 lab on Poly, and 1 lab on recognition. Okay, the platform is loaded now. So maybe I can just quickly start one of the lab. Let's say introduction to DynamoDB. Okay, so I'm just taking a quick example of introduction to DynamoDB. So once you come here, you can see there is a lab details which says we will walk you through the DynamoDB features. You will create a table and store the information and retrieve the information. The duration of this lab is 30 minutes. You will perform this in US East Northern Virginia region. Okay, so this is a quick introduction about what is DynamoDB in case you are not familiar. This is what you are going to do. So here you will create a DynamoDB table, add these items to the table, and search for the items. These are the tasks that you need to perform, and then starts with the lab steps. So the very first lab step says launching the lab environment. So to do so, you can click on the start lab button. So you can see 30-minute timer is already being set. Once you click on the start lab button, this will take some time and give you a success. And once it is success, you can click on the open console button, and here you will be provided with a AWS account ID. Okay, and you can copy the IAM username. So once this page is loaded, the account will be already present. You can copy paste the IAM username and the password. Okay, so we have created a dedicated IAM user in one of the VizLabs fresh and new account. Okay, and this is how you get the access to management console. It's just so easy and quick. You don't need to worry about setting up using your credit card, doing your entering your personal information for creating the account, mobile number, email ID. Nothing is needed. You just need to be a VizLabs user. Now the second task is how to create a DynamoDB table. So make sure you are in Northern Virginia US East region that already I am present in, and I'll switch to the DynamoDB. So to switch to the DynamoDB, you can go to all services and go to the databases section. So here in database, we have DynamoDB. I just clicked on here, and you will land up on this page. And this complete guide is given to you. Okay. So as of now, I haven't performed any steps. I have just gone to the pages. So what happens if I click on the validate button? So once I click on the validate button, since I have not performed, the validation will obviously fail for me. Okay. So in case you have done all the steps correctly, you will see status as success, and you will be able to see how many DynamoDB tables you have created and how many items you have added to the table. I hope you got a good knowledge about the labs. Maybe I can just walk you through the user friendly and some of the stats. Currently, we have stats according to the courses. There are a lot of labs that are present for all the certifications. We are building the labs on specialty level certification. You see, this is a single digit number, so it is work in progress. We also have the labs on Amazon Web Services and Azure or Google Cloud platforms. Okay, these are all planned, and I hope you got a good idea about the labs. Now I hand over to Vivek to take the session further. Thank you so much. If you have any queries, you can ask in the chat window. I am present here.
Thanks for an amazing tour of VizLabs. I guess participants can take best use of the platform for learning and upskilling their purposes. So we try to get started with our demo. So first thing where we have left is we will go back to our console. So 1 second before I share my screen. So right, all right. So what you have to do is like once you are in the console, like you have a variety of AI services represent to you. So we have Comprehend, Code Guru, Lex, and you have Forecast and so on. So what we try to do is we'll pick out a couple of popular AI services which is quite commonly used. So which is Comprehend and Recognition and Translate. So we will try to use these APIs like these services in both portal as well as an SDK. So let's go to the Comprehend. So once you go to the Comprehend, it asks you to have there are two actually variants of Comprehend, which is like Comprehend Medical. So when it comes to Comprehend Medical, it actually does the services of medical text analysis. But in fact, since when you deal with medical stuff, you have to get rid of other exclusive or sensitive information about the patient and so on. So let's try out a simple example for that. So now I'm currently in Comprehend Medical portal. So it has like, I guess my screen is shared. Yes, perfect. So right now you can go to your Comprehend Medical portal. So which has okay. So we have, when it comes to medical, you have to rule out many other possibilities of sensitive information on the patient. You have to identify a few of the diseases or the things we have. You have to collect some information about the patient and so on. So this is kind of an very particular use cases when compared to the original complaint text. So here we have a text input which is of a patient who is 87-year-old woman, who is a high school teacher with past medical history and so on. And these are the medical report that the person has. So now, when you actually analyze this one, so this actually picks out your analysis and it does in the real-time processes. So let's see, patient is 87-year-old and the analyzed text is able to find that this age of 87, high school teacher is a profession, and there is an overlap which is the status of that particular cardiac categorization. So it is able to find out what procedure or what medical expenses was taken and so on. And what was the time that was performed and everything. So these are like very advanced NLP concepts. Even if you try to build an NLP related model, it will be kind of difficult for you to pull up a very good model in a very short amount of time. And that's how we come with these kinds of AI services, which actually helps us to do a lot of stuff. So even now, it actually helps us to see what is the medicines they have and what is the strength of the medicines, what is the dosage, and what is the root of that, and what is the frequency, and so on. So this is able to do everything in real time. So this is a formulated one where you can get all related categories and everything. So you can do on that. If the test procedure, you can able to get those everything. And other stuff. So these are the things we can do with Comprehend Medical. So let's try out Comprehend. So which is like real-time analysis of something. So here we have something called built-in and custom. You can do that by yourself. So here is some random text input. So it's about a person from has a credit card account and it has an amount and so on. So let's try to analyze this one. So I'm clicking analyze, which internally calls the comprehend API and does the same. So it's able to, there are multiple ways you can comprehend the test. I mean, you can get the results of someone. So it's like entities, key phrases, language, sentiments, and syntax. So entities, it's able to identify the Zangwe is a person of, it has a confidence of 99% accuracy. And this is an organization, and this is a credit card number, and which actually marks it as a sensitive one. This is a quantity, which is like the amount what we have, and what is the date. This is another routing number, and this is a PAN number, and this is an address. So obviously able to point out the location. This is a phone number, and this is an organization, and this is an email address, and so on. So we'll be able to recognize almost everything in a particular text. So the key phrases is like what are the main important stuff which is conveyed in that particular text. So it might be used for summarization exams. So when it comes to language, it says like the language is English, which is absolutely true. And PII refers to personally identifiable information. So it's like when you actually do some text analysis, you have to protect the privacy of the user and the data, which means you have to disregard or you have to hide the sensitive information such as credit card numbers, phone numbers, or email address, and so on, or even the name of the person. So where we have to be anonymous in some sort of.
Hi, Vivek.
Yep.
Sorry to disturb you. The screen that you have shared is not visible. We are able to see the Excel sheet only.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry for that.
Not an issue.
Okay. Once again, let me share my screen again. Is my screen visible right now?
Yeah, just take us through 1 minute before when you're speaking about the credit card information.
Yep. I will go back and I will do a little bit recap as well so that we don't miss anything. So we were talking about comprehend and comprehend medical. I was sorry that there was a little bit issue on that particular stuff. Right. So we will again come back to the comprehend stuff. So we have something comprehend console where you can go and start with portal related stuff. So I'm going to comprehend. I'm clicking this one. So it's take me to the comprehend portal and getting started with it. So here we have two options where we can go for comprehend medical and comprehend. So when it comes to comprehend medical, we have an input text. So we can do real-time analysis on the input text. So as I said, we have something called entities. It's able to identify what's the age of women and tag that particular medical-related diseases and dosage and everything. So this is what we were able to get. It's able to type as age, profession, what is the time to procedure, what is the procedure name, and what's the date, and what's the date of the procedure's name of that particular that one, and everything. So it's able to tag and relate to the particular text what we have here. So this is what comes to AI medical services. And when it comes to comprehend, we have an input text here. So the entities which we are able to do that is same way, like it's able to identify as a person of some company, of some credit card with some amount. So we were able to identify this name is a person, and this is the organization, and this is the date, and this is the location, and so on. And key phrases refers to the main content of what we have. And language, it recognizes as English. So when it comes to personally identify information I was talking before, it's like those are the information we have to protect about the user. So it might be the name, your number, and everything. So it's like Zengwei refers to okay, one second. So it's like Zengwei refers to a person, so it identifies as a person, and it's a name. So yeah, and these are the sensitive information of particular user. So credit card number and credit debit number, date. Sometimes yes, If it's actually a birth date or something, you have to actually take it in the way you have to hide it. And I guess now we have bank routing, which is about the bank, what we have as bank numbers and stuff, location and addresses, phone numbers, and email addresses. So these are the sensitive information you have to be processed and make sure you don't reveal that or store their personal information in that. And if so, if you're storing, you have to especially take the permission of the user. So you'll be actually able to know when to take a permission of user and when not to. So that's how here it helps you as well. And sentiment. So what is the sentiment of these? It's mostly neutral, does not convey any other stuff and so on. So, but let me try to put some text and see. So I am very uh, happy to present a session today. So if I'm going to analyze it, let's see. So today refers to the entities, which is a date. Key phrases is a session. That's what I'm going to do. Language is English. So PII, there is no, personally, I didn't do any information which is available to read. So if I convert that as like this, is very happy. So let's see if so Vivek Raja is a person, and that's a personally identified information we have. So sentiment is like I'm very much positive, so which I'm very happy, so which is positive, and this is how you can also do this. So the syntax refers to the syntax is what we have in text. So it's like with parts of the speech and tagging. So it's like Vivek is a proper noun, which is a name. Is a verb. Very is an adverb. Happy is an adjective, and so on. So we have questions. So I will take the questions and at a little bit later processes. Moving on. So we have text stack like translation, so I'm going to translate that into Hindi. So let's see how it goes. So I don't know to read Hindi. So if you guys can able to find out if it's correct, so it's fine. So that's how we can do it. So coming back again, so it's able to translate properly. So the one thing I know is, I'm sorry. When it comes to, I know Tamil, so I speak Tamil very well, and I know to read and write as well. So and it perfectly translated in particular language. So I'm currently learning French, so I'm not much familiar with French actually. So let's see how it goes. Bonjour à tous, comment c'est allez-vous? So which means like how are you? Bonjour means morning or like you address a person, and comment c'est allez-vous means like how are you? So if any French person is there, I guess you will also able to figure out the same. So that's it. So, but now we have actually interacted more with portal, but when it comes to application development, you have to integrate with some language or API calls. So API calls, you can directly refer to the API documentation as is available, but rather I will jump into the Python SDK because I usually use Python and integrate AI services to my applications. So I'm going to jump here. So what you have to do is just open any Jupyter notebook you have, and you have make sure you have a connectivity of AI user available to it. If not, what you have to do is just go to SageMaker, create a notebook, and once you have a notebook, click open Jupyter. You have a Jupyter console, so which is same as that. So once you have your Jupyter notebook ready, you're free to go. So what the basic things you have to actually import or install is Boto3. So Boto3 refers to the SageMaker for importing all your AI services and everything. So we are going to do, see two services here. So one is recognition and another is a sentiment, a comprehend. So first thing is in recognition about an image. So we are going to detect labels here. So let me go to the image and show you like what we have. So I already have everything ready. So here I'm going to import a photo. I'm using my recognition. I'm I'm detecting the labels using detect labels. So I'm going to print it one by one. So there is I'm going to use two photos. One is classroom and one is car. So let's see what are the labels it's able to print. So this is a classroom photo, and here it is like it's able to detect the labels such as person, human, school. It's a kindergarten. It's very much accurate, and this is very much new to me as well. So it's able to figure out what type of environment they are currently. And it's a classroom. It's an indoor, and it's a room. And there are these are the 7 labels which is able to be detected in the particular this one. So next, myself, who is a big fan of F1 racing and stuff. So this is an image of one F1 race. So it's able to figure out that there are cars, and this is an automobile vehicle transportation, and even it's able to figure out that there's a Formula One stuff. So these are all the labels we can do with your recognition. And second thing is detect faces. So it's like you have to use a method called detect faces, and the faces will be able to figure out what's the age and other attributes and so on. So let's try to import one and see. So this is one of the famous images from the series Breaking Bad. He's Brian Caster and who's known as the Heisenberg in that series. So let's see like what it able to figure out. So it has detected that this age is somewhere around 38 to 56. Yep, that seems to be true. And what are the other attributes it has? So the age range is like the 38 to 56. It has a beard value of 2. That's true. He has a French beard. And bounding box of what is the bounding box refers to the box where the face really lies. And what are the emotions that the person has? So he seems to be a little bit grumpy. So which identifies as it has a sad of 65%, calm of 27%. He does not seem to be calm, so which is accurately right. And angry, no, fear, slightly happy, very less. He looks a little bit grumpy. And surprised, it's no, it's not clear. And does he have eyeglasses? Yes, he wears eyeglasses, and that's not a sunglass. So it's able to figure out that it's not a sunglass but an eyeglass. Second, then eyes open. Yes, his eyes are open, and he's a male. And everything. So these are the landmarks, facial landmarks we have. So where the left eye is, where the right eye is. So with these information, you'll be able to do even more insights with the same. And third service is one of my use case is one of my favorites, and I have actually used to implement a use case as well. So it's like PPE detection. PPE refers to your protection gear. So AWS gave out a very amazing use case of I will show you as this one as well. So second, it goes to, so it's able to do the PP detection. So since now everyone has just moved out of second wave, it was essential for us to know that we have to wear masks and there is a mandatory rule. So what if we have to mandate or monitor people to make sure that they are protected with other gears and everything? So they have already developed an AI services for this, and you can directly use that. So let's go back to our console and see. So there are different protection equipment which is already available. So not necessarily that need to be a mask or gloves or headset. It might also be other protection for other related services. So actually, is Amazon massive? No, Amazon recognition itself has an PP as a use case. So we can directly use that instead of using other stuff. So one more thing is, so let's try. So these are the things which we able to figure out from here. So it's detect protective equipment, and I have written some text to actually formulate and see what are the things we have. So it's like I'm bounding a green box for the person who are wore an use case in a, wore a mask in a very perfect way. So this woman has worn a mask with covering on both the nose and mouth, which is good, which is the right way to wear a mask. So it has a green bounding box. So here the person has actually worn a mask. So we have but he has worn in a wrong way. That is, he hasn't covered his nose. So, but here there is a person who hasn't even worn a mask. So it's like he says like there is no mask available. So this is a simple use case which I have developed in my stuff. You can even refer to the other use cases which is available here. Like here we have gloves, hand cover, gloves, and helmet, head cover, and so on. So you can even try to switch images and see what we have here. So there are 4 persons. All persons wear head covers, and all of them wear a face cover, and so on. So we can even individually identify each person and see what's a person and what they are showing. And it's even able to identify what's if it is a left hand or right hand which is detectable or not, and so on. So coming back to our next demo, so we have celebrity recognition. So this is one of the amazing things we have, right? Celebrities, we need to sometimes, if you are developing an application where you have to specifically identify the celebrities coming in your videos or images, we have recognized celebrities. So they already pre-trained with several celebrity images, and it's able to identify many things. So first thing is, this is one of the epic Oscar selfie. So let's see like what is able to identify. So it's able to identify Bradley Cooper, who's here, Jennifer Lawrence, Ellen DeGeneres, and Julia Roberts is there, and Kevin Spacey. Where is Kevin Spacey? Yeah, Kevin Spacey is here. And these are the 6 images it's able to bring. So actually Brad Pitt is here. So I don't know why it's not able to identify the Brad Pitt because of maybe of less facial availability here. And second one is, let's try with a person who's not a celebrity. So I just uploaded myself and see, okay, it's not able to identify me as a celebrity, which is, that means that the AI services is working perfectly, right? So next thing is text detection. What if your image has some text which is involved in that? You have to read that. So you can use text tag, but also comprehend the recognition provides the same stuff. So there is a meme I posted, and I need to identify the text which is available there. So the meme is about my computer seeing me use it to shop for a new computer, and that happened very recently to me. So I guess my computer would have felt the same. So the detected test is like my computer, me use it, and there is another line, and they are able to identify word by word approaches and everything. So we have everything here. So these are the stuff we can do with recognition. For more use cases, you can check out the console and try out the API documentation and do more stuff. So now we have comprehend. So comprehend refers to place where we can just see what all the entities we have and everything. So let's try with different text. I am presenting a session on AWS AI Services. So let's see what. So AWS AI Services is an organization, which is correct. So actually AWS is an organization, AI Services is a product of it, but still it's acceptable. And these are so this actually what happens is that it sends out a request as thing. So everything is built on API. So even an SDK is nothing but a wrapper on a particular API. So these are the things we have got as a response and everything. And detect sentiment. Let's see, like I'm trying to say I'm feeling very happy. I think we have done the same in the portal, but let's try it out in the this way. So it's like the sentiment is new. I'm sorry to clear this. So yep, it's positive because I'm feeling very happy. So it has a positive score of 99%. So let's try with other things. The number of coronavirus cases is increasing at an alarming rate. So which says that this is very much neutral. So it's like a statement. So it made like a neutral one. So next one is like, I am a big fan of CSK. So I love to see CSK win this year's IPL trophy. So which is like which is positive because I love to see, which means I have some expectations, and that is this one. So these are the ways how you can interact with your AI service and so on. So since AI service is like a big service and there are many use cases available in it, so do feel free to go and check out their API documentation and AI services. We have just had a glimpse of how to do stuff here. So this will be able to help you to get started with and get you go on with integration with your applications as well. So what we will do is we will just do a simple recap on whatever we have done so far. So let's go back to my presentation here. So we had comprehend, code gurus for reviews. I think we have discussed more on recognition on custom label, text detection, face, celebrity recognition, and transcribe is for speech to text, and forecast and fraud detection and everything. So forecast actually works on your any time series data. So actually I had used one for prediction of COVID stuff. It worked pretty good as well. So I think I've also compiled you resources of all those code samples and your a simple text format of all about all AI services. I can show you that as well. So we have comprehend. I have included all those a one-liner of what that service does and resources to immediately get started with. So poly is for text to speech, recognition is for image and video, text art is for extracting text, handwriting, and everything. Transcribe is for speech to text. Translate is for multiple language translation. Lex is for conversational voice and text. And forecast is for time series forecasting. Fraud detector is where you can leverage that to automate and find fraud detection which is happening in your any stuff. Health rate is where it's able to do that querying in sort of medical data and stuff. Kendra is where you can implement the search engine for your application and everything. And lookout for equipment and vision is where you can abnormal equipment behavior and you can predict that beforehand before the equipment fails so that you can do the replacement and other stuff. And monotron is a real, it's got introduced in reInvent 2020. So it's like it predicts like when the machine learning model might fail or when you have to do the retraining and stuff. And personalize is where you have recommendations, and panorama is where like you can use the edge computing and you can install that in your CCTVs to do the prediction in real time. So these are all the stuff which we have discussed so far, and now I will take some few questions from you. So we have actually done that. So when it comes to translation, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Hindi, but you can try it on and see how it works. So as I said, like now I need to actually post an important stuff before going on to Q&A. So it's like when you should actually use AI services. As I said, like it's easy and everything, but there is always a con which is associated with any services or any stuff in life. So it's like if you want to build a model which needs to be very precise and you have a lot of requirements which is depending on it, and your whole business logic lies on that particular machine learning model, I guess you have to take the responsibility of building your own model and deploying it and so on. So I guess we have machine learning pipelines and everything. But if you have a quick requirement where you have to include a good quality, accurate models, but not extremely accurate, but a good quality accurate, but and you have to work on the other parts of the application rather than only machine learning, I guess AI service is the best way. So this is how you have to really do that. So let me take a Q&A here. So is there any AI services for finance trading analysis? So from scratch. Okay. So we need to build everything from scratch using ML, Python. Say we have a strategy ready and a process. We use any AI services to take it to next step. Search, sentiment analysis on stocks. So I can pull out, I can thoroughly understand your question. So I will try to answer it as much as possible. So first thing is for AI services for your finance. So as I said, we have mentioned about stock. So obviously AWS forecast is used for analysis on that. If you are able to bring out the data in S3 bucket and so on, so you can just connect it and you can predict them in real time. can we use any AI services to take it to the next level? Search, sentiment analysis. So for search, you have Kendra. So if you have already a pre-built model and you have to take it to the next level, you can integrate your AI services at any point of time. So that's how we'll be actually doing it. So Kendra helps you to do that. And do check out forecast and fraud detection. That will help you to analyze what really happens there. So I think we have discussed this one. So this one is what does Comprehend used to do with sentiment analysis, and how can we use pre-built model that further retrain? So actually, you can't retain an AI services. You can just use it for your convenience. And what model does Comprehend use? So those are like it's not just one model which is taking place in the background. AWS has a very humongous and very good R&D team, and they have been in machine learning for a very long time. So they have built a company. It obviously need to be an ensemble of multiple models which is taking place in the background. So the only thing is you don't really need to worry about the black box here. So if you are, so this is where the black box comes into picture. So it's like you have to give something and you have to get something in return, but you really don't care about how it works. So that's why we go to AI services. But if you still really need to see what really happens behind, then you have to build your own model. So this model fairly gives you a good accuracy, but you have to enhance or retrain it. It's better to build your own model than using AI services here. Is Amazon Marcy used to detect PII in Amazon Comprehend? I'm not really sure, but I will check it out, I guess. But when it comes to PII, they have very good NLP pipelines behind, and they used to do that. Yes, that's how we can do that. Comprehend can be used instead of SageMaker. Yes, absolutely. We have saw a demo of how we can use those API calls within SageMaker. So it's like if you're having a model and you have to integrate your model along with your AI services, you can go ahead and do that. So that's how we can use Comprehend using other Python SDK. So can you share the link to the GitHub? Yep, I will be sharing it right away. I'll put it on the chat as well. So a question from Abhijit: how do you compare AI services with respect to Azure Cognitive Services, since you're an Azure expert? Okay, fine. This is some sort of an interesting question. I do get this question a couple of times when I do an Azure as well. So comparing two big cloud providers on the context of AI services. What I did an extensive case study on AI services of both Azure and AWS. So since as a person who is not associated with AWS or Azure, I can give my own opinion. I can take a stand here. So I will give a better thing. So the factors which I used to do this particular case study was on pricing, what are the external abilities to do something, and what will be the efforts which I need to put in as a developer to get something out of it, and so and so. So when it comes to pricing services, you can check out their pricing profiles in Azure and AWS. So Azure is comparatively a little bit cheap in few of the AI services. It depends on the API calls you make, and so and so. And when it comes to use cases, the use cases differ on what type of requirement you have. So I did a case study for my video analysis and stuff. I found Azure to be a little bit better than AWS in cost and performance. But if you take other use cases, you might really have a AWS doing much more better, and they have already pre-built models for that. For example, if I need to really go with celebrity recognition, I can rather go with AWS rather than Azure than building my own stuff there. So it depends exclusively on what type of problem statement you're working. And I can assure you that they do both provide a very good accurate model. So you don't really need to worry about accuracy back there. And it's pretty good to go with any of the AI services. But make sure you evaluate the use cases and your requirements and the services and the response structure of the service, where you don't have to put extra efforts in doing something there. So which means like able to do that in both services. So I guess that's a trade-off between Azure and AWS. So you can go ahead and explore that one as well. So if I have tons of log files from many devices over a period of months, can we use those log files to deterministically predict the next time failures might work? Yes, absolutely. So that's where your text track and as well as your fraud detection and your time series both comes into play. You can accurately detect some anomaly or abnormal behavior in some sort of application or everything from your log files, from your text. Since I am personally don't have experience on working on that fraud detection or anomaly detection, I would also check that if I can able to do that uh, in my free time, and we can also post a session or write a blog on that in future as well. Thanks for that question. So, do you have any demo on Code Guru? No, I don't really have right now, but you can still check it out. So, it involves pricing. I didn't have any requirement to check it out as well. So, I haven't done Code Guru, but if you guys have a specific requirement for any AI services which needs to be done, as I said, like we had a question on anomaly detection and time series forecast. I guess I can exclusively concentrate on a session on Code Guru and these kind of AI services to help you get started with. So I guess we can do that a little bit later. I can even share a blog on that. How about the recognition? I guess we have answered the question and we have seen a couple of demos. So I guess that would be fair enough to understand how recognition works. So now that we have answered Q&A, these are the resources what we have. Once again, let me copy paste in chat so that you can get this. I will keep updating this in real time. So once you are all done, like I will also, I'm sorry, I will put it in chat. Yeah, sure. You can check out this GitHub profile. I will do that. We can find it, all the code samples available there. And I'll keep updating with other AI services as I work in the future. So as you all requested for Code Guru and so on so stuff, I will try to work on that and update that same. So now we are heading toward one of your interesting part of session, which is the quiz time. So the quiz time works in such a way like we have 5 questions. The 5 question is based on whatever we have discussed so far in the session. And the rewards is like we have 5 quizzes will win 1 free VizLabs course or practice test of your choice. And to grab offer, you can, this is an event exclusive code. So with the WL60, we give you 60% off on all courses and practice tests. And to get a 30% off on subscription, please use with WL30. I will leave your screen for a minute so that you can use those copy paste these vouchers and keep a note of it. And that's kind of the giveaway rewards we have here. So once we are ready, I guess we are now good to go with what I will do is I will stop my screen share and only share my PPT so that I guess there's one more question before. How can AWS Azure AI Services be used to train network routing anomalies and be used to build an auto-healing network? You have a code sample. As of now, I don't have a code sample for that. But I worked on a network intrusion and detection as one of my research projects. I haven't used any AI services, but built my own model for that. So how can we actually use it? So when it comes to anomaly detection and stuff, it's actually nothing but a tablet data, and it might be a stream of data, log files, and so on. So if we're able to bind that data format with your AI services, I guess you will be able to figure out the routing anomalies. And we used to build a auto healing network. I'm not sure about building an auto healing network. So AI services does not work in that way, I guess. So I won't give a sure answer because I'm not very much confident on what I'm about to say. But you can definitely find out the anomalies. But to build the auto healing network, you have to use those insights to build the same. So anomaly detection must work in this scenario, but that involves your binding of data and your and your service. That's a whole thing you have to concentrate on. So I guess I will stop sharing my screen. I will share it back again once again so that we don't have any disturbance. So okay, is my screen visible? Can you put it in chat so that everyone is ready for the quiz right now? Okay, perfect. So how the quiz question works is that you have to we have 5 questions and each question has 4 choices and only one option is correct. And once the question is posted, we have a particular time till we move on to the next question. And that's where you have to actually you have to post your answers in Q&A section. So drop your choices in Q&A, and we have moderators who will actually make a note of your answers. And after the quiz ends, after the session, the winners will be notified and linked in to your personal. I guess your moderators will give a better insight on how the winners will be contacted.
Sure.
So, but
yeah. So let's say if the answer of first question is A, you can post it as 1A. For second question, the answer is B, so you can post as 2B. Please use only Q&A section. We will not be taking answers from the chat window. You have Q&A on your screen on the right side. Please use that for the answers. Thank you.
Okay, I guess now we are all clear on the same page. Now it's right time to start with. So let's start with the first question. In your travel recommendation application, you are looking for an automatic translation of one natural language to another. Which one of your services is suitable for your scenario? Is it Amazon, Kindra, Sumerian, or TextStack or Translate? So we are raining answers here. So we have multiple answers coming in at real fast time. Okay, that's great. And I guess most of you got the right answers. I hope so, as what I'm seeing from this one. So the second question is, you have a use case where you want to manually process physical forms which you have structured and unstructured data in it. Which one of the following services will you use to automate data extraction? So is it Lex, Neptune, Poly, and TextStack? So we have a lot of data and you have to extract some data insights from that structured and unstructured data. And which AI services will you use that to do that? So is it Lex, Neptune, Poly, or TextStack? So keep putting your answers. And yeah, so next, move on to the next question. I guess we have received an ample amount of answers. So moving on to the third question. So you are developing an application for a call center where you want to analyze the sentiment of the user on the call. Which one of the following services will help you in accurately analyzing the customer interactions to improve your services? I guess we saw a similar use case. I guess this is a very easy question. So is it Senti Analyzer or Comprehend, Poly, or TextStack? Yeah. So it's like sentiment analysis on a call center. So what will you actually use that? So I guess we have a lot of answers coming in. So post some questions and let's see how it goes. So both one is, your company is distributed globally and you have a lot of text that comes from different languages. You want to detect the language in which the text was given. Which one of the following AI services will you use? So it's like we have seen this and we have also experimented in the AWS portal. So to summarize this question, you want to detect the dominant language in a text. So which AI services will you use? So is it recognition, languages, or comprehend or IIT name. So definition languages or comprehend of IIT name. So so let's see, like we have a lot of answers coming in. So I guess now we are good to go with the next question. So the last question, so make sure you have making out to the best of the last question. You are using Amazon Comprehend in your application. Which one of the following describes the purpose of using the service in your project? So it's like you are using it to extract text from images or video. You're using it to identify celebrities from images. You're using it to detect dominant language from given text, or you're identifying fraudulent online activities in your credit card transaction in your e-commerce website. Which would be the perfect use case for using Amazon Comprehend? So extracting text, or identifying celebrities, or detecting dominant language, or identifying the online fraudulent activities in your transactions. So finish up strong and hard for your last question. So I guess we are almost done. We have received almost 80 answers for all 5 questions combined. So I guess now we will be able to conclude that last question. So I guess we have received enough answers. Yes. So thanks for participating in the quiz. So now that moderators, I request you to close the answers. From now on, we won't accept the answers, as we are going to discuss the answers for the same.
Sure.
So right. The next we'll discuss answers. So I guess it was pretty easy for you to get 5 out of 5. Let's see. You can self-evaluate yourself. So in your translate application, like in a travel recommendation application, you have to translate from one natural language to another. Which one will you use? Yes, it's translate. It's very straightforward answer. So because translate enables you to provide multilingual communications and translations. So for the reference, you can refer to this particular link. Second question. You have a use case where you have to manually process physical forms and structured and unstructured data. So extract is where you can use multiple log files or text data to detect some meaningful insights. So that's where you can use extract, and this will automate your text extraction processes. So this is where we'll be able to use AI for your structured and unstructured data. Yep. So that question. Sentiment analysis, it's obviously the comprehend. We have already seen that. So that's pretty straightforward, and I guess we'll be able to figure it out. So the final question. You are using Amazon Comprehend in your application. Which one of the following describes the best use case for the same? It can identify what you can do with online fraudulent transactions. So that's the right answer. So that's the end of the quiz. So I have already shared you the resources for the same. So I guess I can also keep updating the same in your in my AI profile. So in my GitHub profile for the other AI services which we have discussed so far. So if you want to connect with me, I'm always available in social medias, in LinkedIn as Vivek Raja P S. I have a tons of GitHub repos on AI and cloud, so feel free to check it out. And also, I keep updating my events and everything in Twitter. So if you want to participate in future sessions of other communities or with VizLabs, keep a track on of my Twitter handle. I keep posting there as well. If you want to connect with me personally on any other professional details or any requirements or discussion, you can email at me at vivekrajan@gmail.com. So that's all for today. I hope this session was really insightful and helps you to get started with AI services in AWS. And I request one of the moderators to jump in so we can conclude the session.
Thank you so much. That has been a great webinar. I completely enjoyed being one of the AWS co-community member along with you. Thank you so much once again for this insights. We are now moving towards the end of this section. Yeah, the quiz winners will be announced on the social media of VizLabs. So it will be announced on LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook. You can check out the VizLabs social media platforms. And I'm now launching a feedback poll where you can rate what speaker has done, how did you like the webinar, and if you have any other recommendation for a specific topic that needs to be added in the webinar, you can put it in the chat window or email us at webinar@vizlabs.com. And in case if you have missed the webinar at the start, maybe due to you joined late or any other issue, you can check out the link I have given in the chat window. You can save this link and watch it at your convenience. Also, do check out the YouTube other videos, other webinars that we have by other great speakers. Okay, we are now heading towards the end of this webinar, and we'll be
One
taking.
second. I like to make a small correction on the answer. I like to make a note to the moderators as well as the participants. So the answer for the fifth question, what we have discussed is, one second, I will share my screen so that it's, we will sort out this little bit of facial one. One second. Uh, is my, hello? Is my screen visible? Sorry, one second. I will share my screen and I'll sort out a little bit of issue that happened. So, one second. So, the answer for the fifth question is not D, it's actually C. So, comprehend is used to detect dominant languages in this one. So, moderators, please make a note on this question. So, the person who has answered C is the right one for the fifth question. It's not D. And sorry, I've accidentally marked it wrong. And for fraudulent services, actually, it's different AI services, not comprehend. So answer is C. So we can make a note of it. That one. So that's all I want to clear this confusion. And sorry for that little bit of a technical glitch that happened there. And that's it. Yes, Abhishek, I guess that was a thing I need to clarify. So the fifth question answer is C, not D. So let's make a note of it.
Okay, perfect. We are now heading towards the end of this webinar, and before we conclude, I want to have a digital selfie with you all. So you can raise your hand in case you can turn on the camera, and I will promote you as a panelist. Okay, so there's a raise hand feature on your screen. Just do a raise hand, and we will promote you to panelist, and we'll take a digital selfie. Perfect. Whoever has joined as a panelist, please turn on the camera so that we can have a digital selfie here. Also request the panelist to be part of the screen. Perfect. So if you have any questions now, you can ask with Vivek directly and interact with Vivek. I think you can unmute yourself also. There's an unmute button. Perfect. I'm now taking pictures. Smile, please. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, for being part of this webinar. We hope to see you soon.
Thanks for having me here, and thanks everyone for attending the session.
Thank you.